ever get that feeling? Like a tug towards somewhere you can't quite get back to.
Yeah.
That kind of longing for home. That maybe isn't even a real place anymore, just, in your head.
Yeah, I think we all know that feeling.
Well, today we're diving deep into a poem that's all about that.
Oh, cool.
It's over 1,000 years old, from the Tang Dynasty, by this poet, Wang Wei.
Okay.
He was really well known for capturing nature's beauty and this peaceful Buddhist way of thinking in his work.
I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah, so to help us unpack all this, we have an expert with us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So maybe before we jump into the actual poem, can you give us a bit of context? What's the deal with classical Chinese poetry? What should we as listeners, be paying attention to when we hear it?
Yeah, absolutely. So classical Chinese poetry, it's really about saying a lot with very few words. Every single word is super carefully chosen, and there's a big focus on imagery and kind of suggestion rather than directly explaining things.
So it's more about creating a feeling.
Exactly. A feeling, an atmosphere. It's meant to leave space for the reader, or in this case, the listener, to bring their own experiences and interpretations to the poem.
I love that.
All right, so let's break down the translation now and see how that feeling is created. What is it actually saying?
So line by line, it goes, "You come from my hometown. You should know all about it. When you come tomorrow, will the plum by my window be in bloom?"
So simple, but I feel like there's got to be something more there.
Oh, absolutely. For starters, the plum blossom itself is more than just a flower in Chinese culture. It blooms in the depths of winter.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So it symbolizes this resilience, the ability for beauty and hope, even when things are tough.
So is that what Wang Wei's getting at? Like the speaker of the poem's looking for that same kind of resilience?
It's definitely one way to look at it. The speaker longs for their hometown, but it's a place they can't actually be. Maybe they're finding comfort, like you said, a sense of renewal, just by picturing that plum blossom.
I can see that. Everyone have those things they miss, places or times they can't go back to. And we end up searching for those reminders, just like that blossom, just to kind of hold on to those memories, right?
Exactly. And it's really interesting, that phrase, "you should know," it's not just a question. There's this weight behind it, like maybe a tinge of sadness or even a bit of resentment that the speaker isn't the one experiencing their hometown.
Right. It's almost like they're relying on this other person to fill in the blanks of their memories, keep that connection alive.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Maybe there's even a bit of jealousy there, like wishing they were the one going back.
It could be all those things. That's the beauty of this poem, really. Wang Wei's not telling us how to feel. He's giving us these images, carefully picking his words, all to create this space for us to, feel our own complex emotions around longing, home, time passing.
It's like he's handing us this map to this hidden garden, but each path leads somewhere different within us.
I like that. That's a great analogy.
And this whole poem, it's just 4 lines, but we could talk about it for hours. So if we had to boil it down to one, core takeaway, what would it be?
That's tough.
Yeah.
I think at its heart, Wang Wei is reminding us about the power of connection. We depend on others, maybe even strangers, to kind of bridge that gap between us and the things we long for, whether that's a physical place, a time that's gone, or even just a feeling.
Wow. That's beautiful. And it's a good reminder that art, even if it's centuries old or in language we don't get, can still make us feel less alone in those really universal human experiences. Yeah. So as we're wrapping up, I have one last thought to leave everyone with. Does this poem overall offer hope? Or is it more about accepting things you've lost? Does that plum blossom represent a chance for renewal? Or just a reminder of what's gone?
That's such a good question, and I don't think there's one right answer. It depends on each person, their own experiences and what they bring to the poem.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the most beautiful thing about it. The conversation doesn't stop here. It keeps going within each of us, and every time you read these lines, you find something new.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonates with you in this poem? Let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Until next time, happy exploring.
Bye.
Bye.